Sorry about that. I had to take a break. But anyways, being that have been doing a lot of soul searching, you start to find stuff and it helps you see things even clearer. Ladies, I'm going to start with you. If a man you know what? You can't even really get mad at a man if he treats you like shit. And let me explain why. You're treating yourself like shit only because you're allowing him to do so. You're allowing him to do so. I see it time and time again, over and over. Two beautiful women fighting over a tired ass dude who looks at them as a fucking semen deposit. You think they really give a fuck about your emotion? Guys, some guys are connected with that nurturing side, and then some guys don't have it in them because of the way they was raised. And then there's some guys who was raised right, but they're just not a nice individual and they don't give a fuck. So what I find it more disappointing is when you have two beautiful women fighting over somebody who really doesn't even give a fuck about them in the first place. Now you're allowing this individual, this man, to ruin your lives. Because you're allowing them to pregnate you, yes, having a baby is a beautiful thing. But you can't get mad at someone who decides to leave you and you knew good and damn well they didn't love you in the first place. Maybe you should have guarded your vagina better. I'm going to speak from my point of view and my experience. I had to literally step away from sex. I love sex. Or let me take that back, because in another video, I'm going to be talking about a very big decision that I'm going to be making to do, but I don't necessarily want to do what I'm going to be doing. And I'm still thinking about it, but it's looking like I'm going to do it. So I don't want to say sex. What I'm going to say is, a relationship-wise, in a relationship, I found myself sleeping with someone because they told me they loved me. See, genuinely, I loved them. I did. I really loved them. And just because I genuinely loved them doesn't mean that they didn't genuinely love me back. Just because I saw us having a long-term relationship doesn't mean that they seen that picture. In their mind, they wanted sex. They wanted the experience of being with a transgender woman. And before I started transgendering, I was forced to consider myself as a gay male. Let's be real about this. Transgender people aren't gay. You can think they are, but here's the thing. From my experience, no. Gay people don't like transgender women. They want a man, But here's the thing. That's a whole nother different topic. Or they wanted the experience of experimenting with a gay person or whatever. So either they wanted to experience, because, I've had sex as a gay male, and, being as a transgender, I can honestly say I used to get hit on all the time. When I tell you, I don't get it twisted. I still get hit on now, but let's say I used to get hit on probably 30 times a day as a gay man. Now that I'm a transgender woman, which I was a transgender woman there, I mean back then, but spiritually, like soulfully and mentally, I was a woman, but they couldn't see that. They just see me as a gay person. Do you understand? But now that I am transgender and it is showing on the outside, I get hit on by guys probably 10 times a day. I take that back. I'm going to say 8 times a day. 10 to 8 times a day. No, 10 to 8 times a day every other day. Yeah, that's more accurate. So, what I'm trying to say is, I found myself sleeping with these guys because that's what you do when you love someone. When you're in a committed relationship, you know, you want to give them that part to yourself. You want to sleep with them. You want to give them yourself. But here's the thing. What I found out is when you pull back and you leave the sex part out and you get to know somebody, that's when you get to see who really loves you and who doesn't. When you become friends first and then that relationship just evolves into a sexual relationship, that's most likely the person who you want to stick with. If they're trying to get sex out of you right away, most of the time that's not the guy that you want. Now, back to what I was saying. I had to learn to not be a sex object when it came to a relationship. You know, because what I found out is a lot of times, a lot of these men, they don't give a fuck. They don't care. They don't care. They don't. And now you're the one walking around here as a single parent and still repeating the same tired ass bullshit. Getting your heart broken by somebody who doesn't even love you. Because if they loved you, they wouldn't use you as the semen deposit, a cum box, and move on to the next chick. When a man loves you, you're gonna know. You're not gonna have to ask them for money, first off. It's going to please them. It is going to get them off to see you happy. And I don't mean that in a perverted sexual way as getting off. I mean, it's going to literally make them happy and bring joy in them to see you happy. You're not going to harass them to treat you, to take you out, to buy you things, to provide for you. It's going to be there. Now, I understand it is hard these days, especially for black men. But it's also kind of a double standard there. And that's a whole nother different topic. But let's be real about it. The real issue is the mindset sucks completely, deeply, and honestly, it sucks. And you can go from a poor mindset to a rich mindset if you allow yourself to take note to the bullshit that you see and the bullshit that's within inside of yourself. You know, I understand, and I'm quite thankful that, you know, sometimes I ask myself and be like, Lord, why couldn't I just be born physically a woman? You know, but I understand now, and I'm thankful that I'm able to transgender now as a woman physically, because I've always been a woman here and here in my soul. Had I been born physically a woman, I would probably have fucking 7 kids. You know, yes, I'm going through the struggle now. But just imagine if I had 7 kids and dealing with what I'm going through now. Oh, Just imagine, all because I didn't guard my vagina correctly. Because I didn't have the smarts to say, no, I'm not letting you hit this. You want this, put a ring on it. You know, I seen the funniest thing the other day, and it really wasn't so funny, but it really inspired me to make this video. I seen two women fighting over a guy that clearly did not love them. And here one is bragging about, oh, well, I got this and I got this and I got that. Let me tell you something. It doesn't matter if he proposed to one of you and left the other one hanging. He's still playing with the both of you gals' emotions. And nor is he and he's not even remorseful for it. There we go. I couldn't say it. Remorseful for it. He's getting a pleasure out of watching you guys beat the fuck out of each other, insult both, when really you guys should get fucking smart as women and realize that that motherfucker is the one for your chaotic, fucked up mentality. So now, because you've been dealing with this jackass, you're going to bring that other shit into the next relationship and fuck that one over. And that could actually be a good guy for you. But because of your repeated history of allowing guys to use you as a semen box, cheat on you, to mentally mind fuck you to the point of, and I'm not talking about that beautiful mind sex. I'm talking about the mind fucking to the point where he has manipulated your mind to the core, to where you are 30 or 25-year-old woman and you look like you're fucking 80 years old. And I don't even want to say 80 because, shoot, I know a lot of pretty good looking 80-year-old women that look better than some of these 25-year-old and 30-year-old women, because them 80-year-old women played their cards right and they took care of themselves and they demanded respect. They didn't have sex on the first date. They said, I'm not doing it. They took care of their bodies. And then I know some women, by the grace of God, they don't look like they struggle. Hallelujah. They don't look like they struggle. So it starts with you. You have to change your mentality. When are you going to realize that sometimes you cannot allow, not sometimes, all the time, you have to realize that you cannot allow a repeated mistake to keep taking place over and over, especially when you're in a relationship. Baby, I'm sorry, I won't cheat on you again. I won't do this again. I'm sorry, I won't do this again. But you still, do you know that each time you break someone's heart, you break their soul and you taint it? Each time you play around with somebody's emotion, you pull a piece of someone's soul from them. And before you know it, that loving and kind individual is now a hateful individual because they don't have a soul left. And you can't really blame the guy. You kind of need to blame yourself. It's time for you women to get strong up here and say, hey, this is what I want out of this man. This is what I need from this man. This is what I expect as this man. The man may be the head of the house, but the woman is the neck. The king may be a head of the house, but the woman is the neck. The queen, the neck, and can turn the head where it needs to be at times. You need to realize that. Sometimes it's time for the prince. No, not sometimes, all the time. You need to know when to realize that you're not a princess anymore. And I say, and this thing is so complex. Yes, you're a princess in God's eyes, you know. And then some are kings and queens, and some is princesses, and all of this stuff. But what I'm trying to say is, you need to. A princess still has that childlike teenager mentality, and you need to know when not to be a princess and to turn into a queen. Because when you're a princess, you can't see the thing, you can't see the picture clearly. But when you're a princess, you can't see the picture clearly. But when you're a queen, you know how to separate that emotion, which is the reason why when you're a princess, you have all this emotion that's clouding you. Emotion is a beautiful thing, but as a princess, sometimes it's hard to channel that emotion, and as a queen too. But a queen has more experience, and the queen knows how to turn that emotion on and off and see the core of things, and thereby painting the picture how it needs to be painted. You know what? When these two individuals was fighting over each other, you know, I hear one individual say, well, he's still buying me all these things. So fucking what? He's still cheating on you too. He may not be buying her, but hey, you guys are both getting a dick. That's pathetic. That sucks. You know, so men, I'm really not even ready to step over into that area. Let me just jump back on the females real quick. You know, I didn't finish really telling you my point of view as far as myself goes. I had to decide to myself that I wasn't going to allow a man to use me as an experiment. Now, there is times where I have in the past said, oh, what the hey, you know. And it's very hard. It's very hard to not want to have a one night stand, you know, when the opportunity presents itself. And it's really someone you like or admire physically. But you have to really challenge yourself and say, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't be doing this. You know, you can say you can say prostitute all you want to. I've gotten to the point in my life where, you know, if I am going to sleep with someone, I'm not going to be that dumb bitch. And I shouldn't even use the term bitch. Excuse me for that, because now I'm using it in a foul way. But I'm not going to be that dumb woman or individual, that dumb transgender woman that's going to be a hoe for free. No, how about you pay me? You're getting what you want out of it. So how about I get what I want? I could have that mentality. Or I could have the mentality as, oh, I don't need to be doing this at all. I'm not going to do this. I shouldn't be doing this. And avoid the situation. I could have that mentality. So what I'm trying to say is, it wasn't until I pulled back and I started to see how fucked up mentally as human beings we truly are. We're really fucked up. We're messed up. And, you know, I'm a work in progress. We all are. But then again, let me rephrase that. I'm a work in progress because I choose to be in work in progress. Yeah, who out there is choosing? So maybe you guys aren't a work in progress. Maybe you're okay with being belittled. Maybe you're okay with living at A when you could be living on a whole another different platform. You know what I mean? Or should I say at one when you could be living at 100? You could be having the best, you could be having the life that you really desired if you had more respect for yourself. If you stop giving people so many, and clearly, let me tell you something, clearly, if a man comes to you, ladies, and say, I've changed, I promise I've changed. Don't fall for that bullshit. Don't fall for it. Because unless they come to you and you see it, actions speak louder than words. Not only that, but they say, hey, you know, God really changed me. I've seen some things. You know, because you have to keep in mind, only God can change us. It's very hard for an individual to change themselves. So if you have somebody, and I'm not saying that an individual can't change themselves, but when you're really fucked up, how can a fucked up person change their fucked up mentality by themselves? I don't, they fail to acknowledge God and what he's doing for them. Because from my experiences, clearly only God can change you. Because if he doesn't change you, you're going to keep doing the same fucked up behavior. Whatever your situation is. Point blank, period. You know, I've seen this in action. So unless a guy's coming to you, and also beware of this. Beware of the one that says, God changed me, and he's just using that because he's heard this video. So here's the thing. You know, action speaks louder than words. However, words do speak volumes. How can people be fine being, how can people have a happy life pregnant all the time? And not just pregnant all the time, but they're pregnant by people who don't really give a fuck about them. They're pregnant by a fucking hood booger that don't even love themselves. They're pregnant by someone who repeatedly cheats on them. You know, it can be done. A perfect relationship, I don't want to say perfect, I take that back. A stable relationship can be done because none of us is perfect. But a stable relationship is possible. A true soulmate, finding another true soulmate is possible. It is possible. I have a couple on the street that I live on now. One of them has passed away. May they be partying in heaven. Because let me tell you something. Oh yeah, you do rest in heaven, but you party in heaven. You party in heaven. You work in heaven. You know, so all this rest in heaven type stuff, let me tell you something. They're turning up in heaven on a whole nother different level. Y'all ain't seen partying. It ain't partying like down here. Oh, they get it in heaven. They actually get it in. They work. They do all type of stuff in heaven. And the praise is amazing. But check this out. This couple been together their whole, no, I take that back. This couple been together my whole entire life. I grew up on this street, and then I moved away, and now I'm back on this street again. This couple, not once have I heard them argue, fight, and I've surrounded myself enough with this couple. From a little kid to an adult. The loyalty was there. The love was there. The respect was there. There was no cheating. None of that. The love and the respect was there. And that is why they lived a lifetime together, happily. It's possible. Not only did they have respect for each other, but most important, they had respect for themselves. And that's what it takes to have a successful relationship. If you have that, you can have all the babies you want. But if you have a poor mindset, hold off from getting in a relationship until you get a rich mindset. I'm not just talking about money. I'm talking about hold off until you get that rich, authentic, pure courage, self-worth, knowing that you are a queen and a princess on the inside, knowing that you are worthy of being treated like a queen and a princess. And a lot of times it's not the young woman's fault. It stems from generation to generation. It starts here. But where it becomes the young woman's fault is that they still have the mindset that they have at the age of 13 or whatever age they was when this imprint of poverty consumed their mind. They still have it at the age of 25, 35, 45, 55. It starts with you. You think highly of yourself, and others will start to think highly of you. You guys, I'm learning. And not only am I learning, but I'm sharing what I learned. And that is to be valued. I don't have to share anything with you guys. But I would be being disobedient to my Heavenly Father. And then again, you know, at some point in or another, I am disobedient. I'm not perfect. I fuck up, you know. I'm a wild child. But sometimes even the wild child has to sit down and better themselves and say, hey, I can't continue living like this. I have to have change in my life. Something has to change, or it's just going to keep repeating itself over and over and over. You have to say, I have to change. And you have to be strong doing it. Don't be afraid, ladies, to take one for the team and say, hey, I just might be a lesson for this man. I'm happy that I was able to help you grow. Yes, I love you. And overall, I wish I could be with you forever. But guess what? You're fucking me up in the mind. And you're not killing me physically, you're killing my soul. Which eventually could kill you physically. With all the bullshit. Don't be afraid to let someone that you love go. Because it's within those moments that that man realizes that those little mind games and those tricks and the guilt trips fade away. Because they realize their little tactic has no more power over you. It has no more power over you. You know, women, start thinking as yourself as royalty. Never arrogant, never conceited, but highly confident and bold in your faith, humble in your prayer. You don't even realize how much potential you have as a female. As a human being, as a spirit and a soul, you do not realize the potential that you have. And then if Jesus is in your life, then if you have Yeshua in your life, Yeshua in your life, Yahweh in your life, the Ruach Kadesh in your life, do you know the potential that's inside of you? The authority to say, I will not tolerate this. I will tolerate this. I will do that. I will not do this. You know, and what I meant by I will not tolerate this, I will tolerate this. You can you can, how can I say this? You can divide. You have the potential now to literally separate things in a way that you never could before. So yes, in relationships, take note to this too, which brings me to my next topic. In this video, it's getting long.